Judge cranks one. Deep left field. A grand slam.
Bases loaded. Hits the stand. Swung on and drilled deep to left field. There it goes. See ya.
Lost. You're not going to hit the ball. You're going to swing and miss. Now it's Chisholm. High drive. Right field. Goodbye.
Hello and welcome to the fourth Vinny Talks Yanks. I'm your host, Vincent LaRose, and today I wanted to get into the whole Marcus Stroman situation and what's been going on. You know, there's a lot of news that have come out the past couple of days, a lot of fans' reactions in different ways, and I just wanted to speak on that and see, give more my opinion on the whole situation. So, to start, I'll go by his contract. As of now, he has 1 year with a vesting option left. So he's on for $18 million this year, and then next year he'll be on, or 18.3, something like that. And then next year he has a vesting option that will be picked up if he throws at least 140 innings this season, and that's whether he will be with the Yankees or if he does get traded. To start, the trade stuff. I don't see him getting traded. He's owed way too much money, and I don't think a team is willing to eat that much. I think the Yankees would have to eat a lot, which I do not think they're willing to do, only because a single injury and he's immediately in the rotation. So I don't see why they would trade that unless they're getting a good piece back, or unless the team taking him is taking almost all of his money, and I don't see a team doing that. I've seen a couple talks about him and the Arenado stuff, and that doesn't make any sense to me. The money doesn't make any sense. Arenado's owed $32 million for the next 2 seasons, I believe, and why would they be willing to spend it on him? That doesn't seem to be a realistic option for us, unless it's literally complete swap, and they take all of his money, all of Stroman's money, and eat a bunch of Arenado's money, which is not going to happen. So we'd have to give up a decent amount for that to happen, and I don't see the Yankees doing that for an aging third baseman. Arenado is good, but he's old now, and his stats are starting to drop. So I don't see that happening. But there's some stuff that has come out about Stroman, which is not surprising, as he's been like that his entire career. I like Stroman. I think he's a good pitcher. I think our defense hurt him last year, especially with some of the worst second base and first base defense in baseball, and he's a ground ball pitcher. I mean, we all saw last year him yelling at Gleyber to, whatever. He apologized for it, but, do I think he was wrong? No. Gleyber was terrible at second, and he seemed really lazy. So, I kind of understand the anger, and the guy's just a fiery player and has always been like that. So, here's the thing with Stroman, though. He came to camp. He showed up to camp when he was supposed to. Okay, a lot of people are getting. Anyways, I'll get into that in a minute. But he came to camp, and he was asked a question: "Are you willing to take on that bullpen role?" And he said, "No, I'm a starter. That's what he said. I mean, put it blunt as that. I'm a starter." Is he a starting pitcher? Absolutely. He's making starting pitching money. So should he probably be a starter? Yes. Do we have room for him? No. The other 5 guys in front of him, I trust way more than Stroman. I want to see on the mound way more than Stroman. And granted, we all know how baseball works. Garrett Cole has with last year, his injury stuff, it seems to have finally caught up to him not being so healthy his entire career. Do I think he's going to get hurt this year? Probably not. I think that's going to be years to come, but you never know. Max Fried has had his own injury history. Luis Hill has had 2 Tommy Johns. Clark Schmidt has definitely had some injury history, and so has Rodon. So, do I think these 5 guys are going to be healthy the entire season? Absolutely not. And would it be nice to have a guy like Stroman to come in behind them? Yes. Making $18.3 million now? Absolutely not. That's way too much money for a guy who's going to spot start or take over for somebody. I really don't know what he expects, honestly. I mean, it almost never happens with all 5 of your, like what you want your opening day starting rotation to look like. It never happens. All 5 of them are healthy, but just as easily he could be injured too. So I don't really like this situation. It's he's starting to get right back into his kind of like I don't want to say diva phase, because I feel like some of the stuff he's reacting to, he's allowed to react to, especially with some Yankee fans, because a lot of Yankee fans suck and really have no idea what they're talking about. They're just Yankees fans because they're from New York and we're always good. So, but I mean, I'll start with this. I'll say this from a fan standpoint. If you're mad that he didn't come in on the first 2 optional days, that's insane to me. I mean, look, at first I was like, what? I was thinking when the way reporters put out, because they have to make money, because half of them are scumbags, but they put it out as if like he just chose not to come when he was supposed to, which was not the case. The whole it's literally in the CBA. It was an optional first 2 days he could come in. If he didn't want it to, no harm, no foul. That's just how it is. From a family standpoint, why would you? You've been on trade. They've been talking about you being traded the entire offseason, and you have no idea where you might go. Why wouldn't you, so if he is with his family, why wouldn't you spend that last 2 days with your family? Because you have no idea where you can go. You can't just up and move an entire family like that. A lot of people don't understand that. So, do I hate him for not going to those 2 days? No. Those 2 days, no, I don't. One, he could fill this position too, and a lot of it is just, it's just to get the routine started, all that, blah, blah, blah. So I'm not worried about that. I will say this, though. When a reporter asks you if you're a starter, and you're on the block, you're the number 6 man, and you don't even want to show up for the 2 optional first days, and then you want to come in and say you're a starter, then that's where you have an issue. Because you can't say, no, I'm doing this, but then not even show up for the first 2 days everybody else showed up for. Like, I don't get it, man. It's not. I can't walk into a job and go, yeah, I'm going to. I deserve that manager position, even though on all the optional overtime and all the optional extra stuff we do, this other guy next to me always does it, and he always does it well. So I don't get you there. Look, I understand best interest and stuff, but like you also, I mean, look, I'm sure he wants to hit that vesting option. Maybe he doesn't want to be with the Yankees, but I think he knows he's not getting another $18 million a year, 18 million a season. So I think he really wants to hit that. I think it's 140 innings, I believe. He pitches 140 innings. No matter what role, by the way, it doesn't say starting pitcher. It's 140 innings. So, dude, I don't know. We've seen the situation with Stroman and the arguments on Twitter, back and forth with some Yankee fans. Had some stuff to say about Ryan Cashman in years past, which I don't necessarily disagree with. But he's always been a very vocal person, and it's freedom of speech, man. You can say whatever you want, but you can't say whatever you want and then expect people not to say stuff back to you. So the whole Marcus Stroman situation is a little whack to me. Like, I mean, I think we should trade him. Do I think we're trading him now? No. I think we trade him, maybe do a mid-season trade. I really don't know. This is a weird spot to put him in. He's doing his stuff again. It's just when stuff like this happens, like teams don't want that. You're a lot of money, and you're gonna. I do what I want, and I mean, I don't know, man. Like, how many pitchers have reinvented them? I mean, look at Ryan Weaver, man. Granted, does he have the credibility of Marcus Stroman? Absolutely not. He doesn't get to walk in and say, I'm a starter. I don't think. There's very few guys, I think, are allowed to say that. But the guy became a great piece for us last season while he was a starter his entire career. And I mean, he was a closer on a World Series team. I mean, should he have been the closer? No. But he was a closer on a World Series team. Like, there's always a fit for everybody. And I know Stroman has been a starter his entire career, and I understand that. Like, I have no hate against him wanting to continue to be a starter. One, I know the money's in the starting, like, as a starting pitcher, that's where the money is for them. But I don't know. I'm just, I don't blame him for not coming to the first 2 days. If that's the case, so be it. You want to, it's in your contract. You're allowed to do that. It's not. There's not. You're not going against your team. I'm only against you going out and fully saying, no, I'm a starter, when everybody knows you're a starter, man. We know you're a starter, but we have no role for you as a starter. As of right now, again, like I said, injuries happen, stuff changes. So, but you know what I mean? Like, you're just making it harder on yourself, I believe. Like, you're bringing the unwanted attention at that point, which is what I think everybody should be trying to avoid. Granted, do I think if you went up there and were like, I'm going to do whatever it takes to help this team win, do I think that's the case? No, absolutely not. I don't think that's the case at all. I know you want to be a starter. I think all of us know you want to be a starter. It's just the way you present yourself. So, I don't know. I can't really foresee the future with this whole situation going on. Is it a huge controversy? No, it's not something to blow up and go out of proportion for. Marcus Stroman is still a good MLB pitcher, and I really do think with our upgrades defensively this year, I think having Jazz at second base, Volpe's still a very good shortstop who's learning and getting even better. Goldschmidt has been a good enough first baseman his entire career, and I think either Cabrera or DJ or Peraza, whoever it is. I mean, all three. I mean, DJ the worst of the three, but those guys are good defensively. So I think Marcus Stroman truly can be a sub-4 ERA pitcher on this team. He's just not helping himself out, is all I'm saying. Like, I don't know, man. You have money, so maybe you have a different outlook on me. As if I'm like talking to you, but whatever. But I'm saying he has money, so he definitely has a different look on me. But me being me, maybe I would change if I got a huge contract. Obviously, I never did. That's why I'm here. But I wouldn't. If I wanted a specific job, I wouldn't not show up, like, to the first optional days. You know what I mean? Like, in high school, we had those days too, man, in high school. I mean, I'm sure everybody who's played high school baseball knows that. I always showed up. I just wanted to play baseball, so I always wanted the opportunity to play baseball. I wasn't the biggest or the strongest or the best. I didn't throw the hardest. I didn't hit the farthest. But I tried my best, and I always showed up on time and with a good enough attitude. I didn't walk in there like, oh, I'm going to be this, and if I'm not this, then whatever. I don't know where you got it. I don't watch the whole interview, truthfully, or the whole press conference, whatever it was. I don't know what else was said, so I could be completely wrong. And if I am wrong, I'm sorry, but I just don't get how. Just as a baseball player, man, I get there's a lot of money involved and it's a business, but just as a baseball player, like, you get to play baseball and make millions of dollars, bro. While I'm on here recording a video of me just talking about it and trying to make anything. You make millions of dollars to play baseball. You could retire right now and be good for the rest of your life. The rest of your life, easily. I just don't get the I'm only going to do what I want to do kind of attitude. So, I mean, truthfully, I think the Yankees still need Marcus Stroman. I don't think trading him should be in their best ideas. I don't see them, even with trading him getting a third baseman worth anything that's going to be much better than what we have. Cabrera proved himself last year enough to where I can trust him to play good defense and have a good enough bat. I think every day at bats will help him a little bit more. I know if Peraza's at third base, we ain't worried about defense. That's for sure. It's just the bat. So maybe he could heat up and be good. Maybe LeMahieu can have a resurgence, but I don't know, man. I'm not. This team, I'm not afraid of. I mean, losing Juan Soto, I think, is really just such a dark shadow and everything, and we had a really good offseason. So I'm not gonna. I don't really know where else to go with this team. So I don't. I know if they don't get off Stroman, they're not gonna get anybody else. Hal is quite on. Like, I don't want to go much over that third luxury tax, second, whatever it is, the Cohen tax. You know, I believe we're a little over 2 million over it right now. So we'll pay what 6 million in taxes, something like it's like 110%. So we're a little over 2 million. So probably 5 to 6, somewhere in the 5 to 6 million range in the tax. I mean, bro, you make that in one, probably make that in like a couple of games, man, like profit wise. So does that? No, I don't feel bad for you at all, man. So I don't. This is what I'd say for the rest of the offseason, going through spring training to the start of this season. Don't expect them to sign anybody that's not a spring training invite. I wouldn't expect anything from that. I'd genuinely be surprised if they did trade Stroman. If they do trade Stroman, I'll talk about it, but I don't see that happening. I see him, like I said, no, we never get through spring training with all 5 starters good. Like, almost no teams. Like, in the next couple of weeks, we'll start getting injury reports of this guy's injured, that guy's injured. I mean, who was it? I believe there was a couple guys the Yankees listed. I don't think it was anybody big. I think maybe it was Chase Hampton or somebody else. I forget his name, but he had a shoulder injury in the off season, but he's good now. So I think nothing has come out yet. As of now, from what I've seen, everybody has been on a mound and thrown on a mound, so there's nobody yet starting pitching wise that hasn't done anything. So we'll see what happens. I think come opening day, Stroman will be that 5 starter. Whether it's Rodon, Heel, Schmidt, whoever. Oh, I think Schmidt had something, but regardless, he's good. But regardless of the fact, I think the Yankees are in a good spot with this starting rotation. And having Stroman as that 6th option, you have Chase Hampton. You have, why can't I think of this guy's name, man? Hold on, that's gonna bother me. Let me look at it real quick. But I know you have Chase Hampton in the back. You have a couple guys in the. You have a couple guys in the minors that can come up and make spot starts. Like, I like Stroman as a spot start pitcher too, but he's not gonna be spot. He's getting paid too much money to be a spot start pitcher. So we'll see. What was? Oh, I'm sorry. Isn't Will Warren? I don't know how I forgot about Will Warren. But Will Warren, I believe, was dealing with a shoulder injury over the offseason, but I think he's good now. But those are good guys to come off. You got Will Warren and Clayton Beater as the 7-8. So I don't. Yeah. Sorry, but yeah, your starting rotation's good. You have like Will Warren as a 5, or is not a horrible thing. Like, Yankees see potential in the guy, and I think it was against the Guardians where he went like 5 shutout innings or something like that in a start and just a random start in the season. But maybe it was somebody else. I might be mistaken that, but. Yankees pitching is in a good position. Even if they trade Stroman, we're in a good position. So we'll see. I think at this point, I don't know, because I don't think a team would really take much more than like 5 million. Take more than much like 5 million from off Stroman's contract. So I think the Yankees would have to eat most of his contract and trade him. Maybe get. I don't see it. I don't see it happening. It doesn't make a lot of sense. So, they're not that much. I don't think they're enough over the luxury tax to be like freaking out about it. So, but that's that. I mean, I want to get into something else too about the Yankees. Like where they're at right now. What could they do? A potential trade, like as I talked about before, the Arenado stuff. Could it work? Yes. Do I think it's going to work? No. I mean, it would be really nice to solidify that third base position and then have Cabrera as your super utility guy, have DJ just in a bench role, Peraza in a bench role, and you're not too worried much about it. I don't know how that's going to work, though, only because of this. Yankees really only roll with, I believe, 4 bench guys, and one's your backup catcher. So you only have 3 spots. At that point in time, you'd be, if you traded for Arenado without trading another position player, for the sense, without, maybe you give them Peraza, let's just say that. But no, in the scenario where you're just getting Arenado back and you're not moving anybody from the MLB roster, you have a logjam at that point, because then you have Peraza, who can't be sent down, or he has to be released, and somebody will pick him up if he's released. I don't think he's going to clear waivers. Then you have DJ LeMahieu, who's on the books for $20 million this season. Obviously, you can't really do much with him, so he's going to be on the MLB roster. And then Oswaldo Cabrera has shown more than enough. He's a valuable piece to this team, so he has to be on the MLB roster. I don't see a way he's not on the MLB roster. So in that scenario, you'd be fully you'd have no true backup outfielder. I'm not saying Cabrera couldn't do it, but you wouldn't have a true backup outfielder in that scenario. You would have Cabrera. And is that a bad thing? No, but I don't see that happening. I really don't see this trade working. Money standpoint, roster standpoint. And again, unless we gave up a guy like Peraza, send over Peraza maybe. And then if you give him Peraza, you have room to bring up an outfielder. Maybe you do end up calling up oh my God. No, this ain't going to work. I forgot we got Trent Grisham. Yeah, this is not going to work. I don't see it. Whoa. How many guys can you have on the roster? Wait a minute. I'm sorry. I'm a little lost today. I have a flight, so I'm kind of lost. So, yeah, how many guys can you have on that? So you have 26. So the Yankees, we have our 5 starters, and then I believe they run with 13 out of the bullpen. So that's 18 there. Nope, that's terrible math. That is very wrong. I'm sorry. I believe they run 11 out of the bullpen. So that's your 16 right there. Then you got another 10 guys, so it'd be... Wait a minute. What? Hold on, let me see. I'm lost right now. Let's see. Who did they have? That is not what I was looking for. Cam Shetler. That's a dope ass name, bro. Okay, so yep, that's the starting lineup. Rotation. About 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Really, only 8? Why did I think it was so much more than that? Okay, so from the looks of it, you can have 4 I'm sorry. I'm sorry. 8 guys out of the bullpen. I thought it was more than that for some reason, but you have 8 guys out of the bullpen and 4 on the bench. So you're gonna have Grisham for sure, because that's your backup outfield no matter what. I don't know how I forgot about Grisham. You're gonna have Peraza, because he has no options left, and you have no choice unless you trade him or release him. You're going to have Cabrera as your utility guy. As of right now, it has DJ listed as a third baseman. I think that'll be flopped probably, Cabrera at third base, but I'm just going to go with what they have listed right now. And then you have Alex Jackson, your backup catcher. So, in a world you did trade for Arenado, you didn't give up anything back. You have no room for him. You'd have to release DJ LeMahieu, release Peraza. I mean, they wouldn't do that. They'd release Peraza first, but you'd have to release somebody. And or in some stupid world, I believe, if I'm not wrong, Cabrera has options. So you'd be fully committed getting off Cabrera. I don't see with the roster construction how that works again unless you trade a guy to them like Peraza or I don't know. I don't see how this works. But Brian Cashman is the man. Usually, sometimes he is, sometimes he isn't. He generally makes things work. I will say this: I saw a report the other day. I don't remember what it was on, but like there was a report that Brian Cashman is working up this huge deal or something like that. He's cooking up something. I don't know. That's what I saw. So we'll see what happens. I think as of now we're good where we are. I know spring training invites are Carlos Carrasco. We have George Lombard Jr.'s was a spring training invite. His first time being able to play on an MLB club. Obviously, he's just gonna be a first couple week guy, and then they're gonna send him back to triple A or double A. But like I said, you have Cookie Carrasco. You have they have Colton Brewer, who's probably gonna be in the minors, but Colton Brewer, Carlos Carrasco, Brennan Davis. I'm gonna assume this guy's name's Jeff, but it's spelled Geoff. Jeff Hartlieb. What a weird name. He is a right-hand pitcher. Christian Hernandez, Eric Leo, Brandon Lembrandt, Jesus, an outfielder Ishmael Munguia. Whoa, we got some strange names coming in, but most guys are just pitchers. That's usually how it is. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I like I said, I don't even think they have a spring training invite infielder, do they? Other than George Lombard Jr. He's not a spring training invite. He's just a call-up. But anyways, they don't. I think they roll with what they got right now. I think the most we'll see is 2 injuries, and then okay, cool. We're gonna sign Cookie Carrasco to a major league deal for him to pitch for us while whoever's injured is doing whatever. So, but that's what we got for today. Honestly, is the Stroman stuff is really what's the major thing going on right now. I don't see a trade happening. I see it staying. I see our team like this until spring training. I don't see them even making somewhat of a move until, maybe a little bit before the trade deadline. Around the trade deadline, we'll see where we're at that point. It really looks like our biggest issue is going to be either just setup men for the bullpen, a long reliever kind of guy for the bullpen, or maybe just a third baseman. I don't know, because we don't know. I think Cabrera's going to do good. I think he's going to go and prove himself and be our third baseman. So, but, that's what I got for today. So, thank you for listening, and I hope everybody enjoyed. Have a great day.